Problem 10-15 on page F432 is one section of the statement of cash flows. This problem and the two following will show how to complete each of the three sections of the statement of cash flows. After doing all three sections, the fourth problem in this chapter is a complete statement of cash flows, putting the three that we've done before together. Looking at the problem in the book, there is a list of transactions that need to go into the operating activities section of the statement of cash flows. Care needs to be taken to ensure that all of the transactions that are listed belong in the operating activities section of a direct method statement of cash flows. On page F410 of the text, Exhibit 10-3 gives us a great summary of what transactions belong in each section of the statement of cash flows. The first activity for this problem is to compare the list in the problem to the summary on page F410. Going down the list and comparing the first item, collections of accounts receivable, to the summary on page F410. It shows cash inflows from customers as a result of the sales of goods and services is an appropriate item for the operating activities section. I would think cash sales falls into that same category. Payments for merchandise are listed in the summary under cash outflows to suppliers for the purchase of inventory. Payments for income taxes and payments of electricity should fit under cash outflows to government for taxes or to others for operating expenses. Interest received on investments would seem to fit under cash flows where it says from interest earned on loans to others. Wage payments to employees goes under cash outflows, listed as to employees for salaries and wages. Interest payments go under cash outflows to creditors for interest on loans. And finally, depreciation expense doesn't seem to fit under any of the cash inflow or outflow items. Depreciation expense, as we learned earlier in the class, is a non-cash item, and a direct method statement of cash flows does not deal with non-cash items. Once again, on the screen in front of you, there is a format to fill out for completing this exercise. Collections of accounts receivable goes on the second line of the format as a positive $350,000. It's a cash inflow. Cash sales goes on the top line as a positive $85,000. Payments for merchandise goes on the third line as a negative $260,000. Since each section of the statement of cash flows intermixes cash outflows with cash inflows, it is critical to be sure that you get the pluses and minuses correct. Payments for income taxes is a negative $45,000. Payments of electricity goes on the form as a negative $40,000. Interest received on investments is a positive $15,000. Wage payments to employees is a negative $55,000. Interest payments is a negative $68,000. And as we determined before, the $25,000 for depreciation expense is listed up at the top above the form where it says, "What is not part of the operating activities section?"